9 minutes after 8 o'clock. Fueled by coffee, hubris, and overzealous sun. Here we are to do another episode of Island Tea.
Yeah, it's too hot. It's very hot. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts.
More like Island Hell.
Oh boy.
Good morning to everybody. I am trusting that everyone is having a beautiful morning.
We don't want to run the tours.
What? It's been hot?
What? Have you
Yes,
not
it-
felt it?
It has been hot.
Even the water coming out of the coal pad to the pipe is fire. Oh my god.
Have you? But you know, while driving here, it looked a bit rainy, didn't it?
No, I didn't notice that. Or maybe it's the Saharan dust too. Because everything is in the Caribbean. There's a solar storm. There's that. Everything is happening right now. And we are extremely hot over here. My gosh.
Yeah, it has been hot.
And then on top of that, there's AZ. On top of all that.
Oh boy.
It has been hot over the couple of days. How was
boy.
Mother's Day celebration?
Yeah, how was I want to know how the moms enjoy their celebrations. We know, yes. Your Mother's Day is 365 or 366, depending on the year. But we know the kids, the husbands, everybody go over the top for that one specific day for mothers. So you can call in and let us know how you enjoyed your day, or what is it your kid or your kid or your spouses did to ensure that you had a wonderful Mother's Day.
We are sure that Mother's Day is widely celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's often compared to Father's Day celebrations, and it is by far more widely celebrated,
Yep.
And I think it's too because of women and mothers. They tend to, when it comes to celebration of themselves and everything, and parents and the children and everything, there's so much
They do a lot.
appreciation, because mothers do so much in our society. Mothers do so much. So
Yeah.
all the mothers out there, Mother's Day was yesterday, but take the month, take the whole month, take the whole year.
They could be a lot nicer to guys, though.
You see, it's the one guy that
I
got
get it.
everybody in trouble, because for the good guys that I think they have to suffer because of the guys, the indifferent guys, because I don't like calling people bad, it's sad.
Yeah, and I do understand what you're saying, because there's so many. When you look at the legal system, there's so many fathers where mothers have to come to the court for supportment.
Oh, boy.
And so at times you see the frustration sometimes on the father's face, and you hear that they're unable to pay because some of them have multiple children, and you have to maintain your children. You have to maintain it. It's not only getting the children, but you have to also maintain them, because the children are here and they have to be maintained.
You see why the dad knows and the mom knows what it takes to be impregnated, right? So I blame both of them. So nobody should be looking frustrated. You want to play boss and you want to play fella, you gotta pay for them children there.
Yes.
So go to the court and pay your monies.
And in the same regard, there are some mothers, there are some fathers who really want access to their children, and it's
Mothers,
just
stop it.
problems.
Stop it. I will admonish you to stop it. If the man wants his kids, I would be happy, like, hold that. I gone down the road. Yeah, like
But a lot
stop
of them-
using the kids as pawn. It's
Yes,
ridiculous, because then
yes.
you're bringing up children that might think, if they end up in a situation like that that's okay to do.
But you
And
know what? Go ahead.
I've heard so many cases where the mother was telling the kid that the dad doesn't, and then the dad has proof, like where the letters get sent back to him,
Yeah.
and because she'll get
Yes.
them
Yeah,
and she'll send them back,
yeah, because she doesn't want.
yeah, and then
She want to paint him back.
and then like years later when the kid is in his teens and the dad has
a whole
like
bunch of
a
letters
shoebox,
Yes.
it's like,
with return stamps, right?
yeah, with money in them and everything.
Uh-huh.
And
I was in court just last week, and it was a maintenance matter, and I happened to walk in, and while I walked in and I sat down, I heard the father saying, and it was a matter when it came to maintenance, and the order being out and for the maintenance of the weekly for the child, and then the mother brought the father to court, and then the father uttered, okay, then so you bring me to, I don't have to take the children, right? She can't just leave them with me. And I was like, because you have to pay for the maintenance, you're saying therefore, okay, then hold the children. And there are some mothers who ask the question, because there's some mothers, they have the children all the time, and some of them are really asking. One time, one of them asked me, can we have whereby we give the fathers, we mandate that the fathers hold them for this time? And I'm like, the law doesn't provide that you mandate anyone to hold. No.
But you could
But
suggest...
there's custody. So,
Yeah,
you
that's-
have
yeah.
the person
Like
who has
shared.
custody. Yeah. No.
Y'all don't have that here?
No, usually it's the best interest of the child, and usually it is seen that it should have the one parent has the sole custody, where the other has access to the child and the other one maintains the child.
So in the U.S., what is that? Custody where
Well, they
where
have
the mom
shared.
or dad could have them on the weekend, depending on who
Yeah,
has
and they just decide
primary
when.
custody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we don't have that here?
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
what
we
I'm
have
saying.
that
He's
here?
talking
Okay.
he's
okay.
I think what Jamster had suggested was a shared custody, whereby the father has it for 1 week, the mother has it for 1 week, and the mother has it for a month, and then the father has it a month. Usually here you have the custody of one child, with usually the mother.
primary.
Doesn't always have to be based on the situation, but usually the mother, and then you have access by the father, and then the maintenance by the person, usually the father, because the father doesn't have the custody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And so what had happened in that regard is that the mother brought the father to court for maintenance. And he was like, okay, you bring me here, me ain't got to hold the child, right? And then he just left. And it just shows at the end of the day, when you look at the family structure, I mean, at the end of the day,
Messed up.
your children are your responsibility.
Yep.
And,
It took two of you to bring those little things into the world, and it takes two of you to take care of them, regardless of your relationship. And I just think that people just need to.
and when it comes to family matters and children, the court always says it's the best interest of the child.
We have a caller. Caller, go
Caller.
ahead. Good morning. You're live on Island T.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we lost a caller. Caller, we apologize.
On to the next.
Yes.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh boy. Phones, no trouble. Listen, Jamster,
Hey,
you
caller.
know
Hey.
we have a caller. Okay,
Yeah.
caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hi,
How
Cleo.
are you guys?
How are you?
I am fine. How was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day was excellent without kids.
Oh, okay. You don't have any kids.
No, not
Okay.
just yet.
Well, I hope you treat your mom especially.
Oh, always 365 or 366.
All right.
How was yours?
I had a wonderful day. I went to church. I spent the day with my family. Wonderful day. But what y'all are saying is exactly. It takes two parents to raise a family, and if you realize it's the black family that suffers the most, because then the majority of black kids grow up in a single household. The fathers are not around, and that's because like you were saying, the father have kids, so many kids here, there, that he don't have the time to spend with all of the kids, and the kids the kids suffer because of that,
Yeah, and sometimes the maintenance as well, because maybe a father has children by multiple individuals. And
exactly.
yeah.
And don't you think it's time now that people, instead of just lie down and get kids, you plan your kids, you look at what your finance and decide really can't afford to take on 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Because remember, back in my mother's days, my mother grew up, we were 8 of us. We wasn't rich, but we wasn't suffering either, because back then you could have gone outside and pick up breadfruit. We used to go wheat potato, you could have go get food somewhere. Today you can't do that.
Cleo, let me ask you a question.
There's no potato reaping nowhere.
Cleo, let me ask you a question. Did you ever go down on the beach to get those crabs?
To get the crabs?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I
When
figured.
it's rain, I said, growing up, we couldn't go hungry. I don't know about nobody now, but we couldn't go hungry. When it's raining,
yes.
we gone to the bush to look crab.
She's from Connery, that's why.
When it's mango season, we gone mango walk up Monkey Hill, gone up in the bush.
Yes.
Kids today don't do that.
And guava up so too.
But when we look at it too, life then, even during our time, my lifetime, as a child, it seemed a lot simpler. You wonder you wonder what you used to do, because you didn't have the iPad, you didn't have the iPhone,
you didn't have a cell phone.
You didn't even know what internet was.
Marbles,
Exactly.
hopscotch.
We were very contented and happy.
Yes, exactly.
When I look at my kids' life and my life growing up, you look at them, they have everything, but yet I don't see the happiness and the joy that we had growing up, just running free like wild goats.
You're right.
We were so free. We didn't have to worry about nobody kidnapping us, nobody molesting us.
Yeah.
Your mother didn't have to worry about it's 10 o'clock, where's your child in the home? Because after a certain time lights out, we gone home.
Exactly. We have to be home by a certain time too. I wonder if
we were so contented.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
today the fathers need to step up. The mother should not be having to take you to court for maintenance, because your child have to eat.
Yeah.
He needs shoes to wear. He needs clothes on his back. No mother should have to take any father to court for maintenance. And the court should have mandatory visitation, where 1 weekend you have the child, another weekend the mother, because normally the kids live with the mother.
Yep.
So the father should be mandatory. Spend some time with your kids. Force it on him.
But
Every other weekend you have your children.
But I thought about Cleo before you go on. I thought about that. And then I said to myself, in thinking about it, that same thing that you suggested, imagine to have to force someone to spend time with his or her child, and then enforcing that person to do so. They might not even take the proper care of that child, because at the end of the day, the child is in their custody for the time being, and they might just ignore the child, because in their mindset would be, well, I don't want this child to be here, and so that could lead to abuse.
We have another call. Caller, go ahead.
Or neglect. Abuse or neglect. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to everybody in Jesus Christ's name. I greet you all.
Is this Gregory?
Yes.
Oh, good morning, Gregory.
Good morning. Good morning. In Jesus' name, I greet you all.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, I would like to, and I've said it more than once, and I will continue to say it. The father, well, first of all, I would like to say, I hope every mother had a blessed Mother's, Jesus Blessed Mother's Day yesterday. I hope it was a happy Jesus Blessed Mother's Day for all the mothers them yesterday. May God bless you all.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to say that the fathers, based upon the Bible, is supposed to be the center of the family and the leader of the family. The godly leader and godly center of the family. Fathers especially, when things do not go right in the family, or when the family go astray, the fathers especially bear a special blame before God, because God has made him to be the head and leader of the family. Now, I would like to tell the fathers, you especially the father, God has put special emphasis on you and authority on you to be the biggest educator of your children and to bring them up in the fear and admonition and discipline of Jesus Christ. And fathers who do not bring them up in the fear, discipline, and admonition of Jesus Christ, you are failing your children big time. You are just making them fathers for hellfire. Eternal hellfire. You see, you might bring them up to be a lawyer. You might bring them up to be the greatest respected person in society. But if you aim bring them up in the fear and admonition of Jesus Christ and discipline of Jesus Christ, you have failed your children or child very big time. And when I tell people that they need to bring up the training in the fear and admonition, discipline of Jesus Christ, they think I simply mean just taking them to church. No. That is part of it. Taking them to churches and not sending them, taking them to churches. But that is just part of it.
But Gregory,
also
I want to play.
teaching them.
No pun intended. I want to play devil's advocate. No pun intended. At the end of the day, there might be fathers and who do all they can in terms of bringing up their children as best as they ought to in Jesus Christ. But children, and when they become adults, have their own choice. Yeah. What you say to that?
Yes, of course.
Would you still blame the fathers?
Once you do your part, if they turn out of the godly way, that's not your responsibility anymore. But if you did not do that, if you did not bring up in that godly path, then their blood is on your hand.
Okay.
Once you did that, and if they turn away from it, then their blood is on their hands.
Okay.
The Bible teaches you that. So, but like I was saying, when I tell people that, hey, it involves more than taking them to church. Not sending them to church, but taking them to church. But it involves more than that. It involves you being a godly example to them, you teaching them at home, having family devotions with them, and teaching them what the scriptures say and how to live it, modeling it before them. It involves all of that, and not just taking them to churches. And the churches are not doing a good job at all in teaching these scriptural truths to families, especially fathers. And that is the biggest, that is the real root reason why we have all of these family breakdowns, troubles, crime, you name it, confusion, you name it all, broken marriages, lots of divorces that are not good for society, degeneration of society, and that sort of. This is really the root reason for that cause these things, not having true godly Christian Christ-like men in the home, leading the family in the biblical way to go by the Spirit and grace of God.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And anything less than that, no matter how good you bring them up, anything less than that, you have failed your children big time because you did not do it to the glory of Jesus Christ.
Okay. Thank you for making your point, Gregory. Yes, thank you. I said thank you for making your point and sharing your contribution. No problem. We hope that you have a wonderful day.
And so spake the Gregorian monk. Sila.
God bless. Oh, boy.
Yes. So we have traffic talk at 8:30. We have a call on the line? Oh, I thought we did.
No.
Okay.
No, that was him hanging.
I see. So I'm looking at some of the news regionally, and it says Grenada's opposition leader calls for action against the rising gun crime. And we know that we had a shooting incident, Pick-a-Peer Alley over the weekend.
3 individuals got shot.
Yeah.
We have another call.
We have another caller. Caller?
827. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello, caller. Hello. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
Oh. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Okay, caller from the Twilight Zone. Let's try another line. Caller, go right ahead.
What caller?
Hi, caller.
Hello?
Hi.
That caller is having a hard time connecting.
Yes.
The thing is, like, when I look at the family structure today, compared to back then, we're failing miserably. We all look at social media. There's a trend going around right now where a parents or mother, I see it's mostly mother doing this nonsense. Take their kids in a room and they say, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to say as much cuss word as you want, and you're not going to be punished. And tell me, what one little girl went on a rant, and I mean, when she's thinking it's her mother herself, she's cursing out. Tell me, as a parent, why would you want to tell your child to do stuff like that? What are we teaching our kids? And when the kids, then we wonder why the child is like this, why they're like that, why so much things are happening. And like Greg said, the truth is, people today don't want God. They prefer darkness than light. The kids today, when I was growing up, even though my mother didn't go to church, Sunday school was mandatory. We was in Sunday school twice on Sunday.
Yep.
In the morning and in the evening under the tree.
Do you know?
Yep.
We
So-
had to. We didn't have a choice.
Yep.
You're going multiple. You're going churches that you don't even attend
10,
Sunday
yep.
school.
Go to Sunday school.
Children today, they're not forced to go to church. I don't want to go. So okay, you don't want to go. Nobody in the house is going. Nobody's teaching the children about salvation. Nobody's teaching the children that life is more than getting up, eating, putting on clothes, going out to the club, because after we done all this, there is an afterlife. There's a price to pay for the life we live now.
And you know, Cleo, I'll tell you something. Another thing that I find very disturbing. Yesterday we went to the beach, right? And there was a girl. She couldn't be more than 14 on the beach. And she was wearing, and to Cleo's point, 15, 20 years ago, this would have been unthinkable. This girl is wearing a bikini, and it's one of those where the inner part of the breast, in between the two breasts, it's not fully covering the breast. It's like they're open, like.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this girl. I'm like, what's it?
But do you see how people go to the beach now? And
And
I'm not knocking anybody with the weaves and the nails and the makeup. And I'm be like, no, you go to the beach to plunge in. I want to jump in. I want to wet everything. I can't be bothered with all of this.
I mean, why are parents allowing their children to sexualize and be sexualized
At a young age.
At
such-
tender age. At a tender age, you put men to lust after your children.
Yep.
At tender age, sometimes, and the thing is today, what the women don't realize as parents, your kids today, because of all the chemical in the food, they mature way faster than I did when I was some of these young people age. I mean,
so
I'm
true.
not ashamed to say when I start developing boobies, I probably was like 14, 13, 14, going up there just that bus, as we would say, bird egg. I didn't go into menstrual until I was like about, I think about going up 14, 15. I was a late bloomer. These today, they start at 7 and 8
What?
because of all the chemicals.
Chemicals in the food.
And the parents are putting the kids out there. And then when you look at the kids, when you look at the young, when I look at women today, I say, my God, let's keep it real. What happened to dignity? What happened to morals? What happened to values? And the thing is, the young girls are watching the young adult, the mothers, because some of the mothers, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay,
Like,
Cleo.
They
Cleo, we
have
got
a
so
nasty dance.
Cleo, we got
A
so
nasty dance. I think the dance is
captivated.
nasty.
Cleo, we got so captivated by your. We got so captivated by your call, and we have traffic talk now, so we can always continue this
right.
later on. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Okay, you
You
too.
too.
Listening.
So it's 8:32. We come right back with traffic talk. We take a quick break here from the sponsor, Caribbean Alliance Insurance.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Be careful on the road.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop. I'm making it my business to alert all motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue to help you to live. Just take this advice I give.
And it's 8:35, and we know Officer Sophie Henry has a lot of advice to give for drivers out there.
Jams, I think we need to play that song more often, you know. I was actually listening to the words, and it makes a lot of sense.
It certainly
the road
does.
really is a racetrack right now, and that's not good. So good morning, Officer Henry. Welcome to Traffic Talk. How was your Mother's Day?
Good morning. It was awesome.
Oh, and y'all, she's glowing. Well, then again, y'all can see. Yeah,
I saw her yesterday. She didn't know I saw her, but I saw
Ooh.
her.
Look at her face. She's like,
I
where
saw
did
her
you
on the
see me?
beach.
Oh, okay.
Just says okay.
The AC was on, so there was no way I was turning down the glass to say hello because it was too hot.
That's what friends are for.
Oh boy. So what are we talking about this morning?
This morning I'll be talking about hit and run accidents.
Oh boy.
And as the song said, slow it down. And that song is so true. Once you slow down, you can avoid anything. So this morning, as I said, I'll be talking about hit and run accident. Hit and run accident occurs when a collision happens between vehicles, pedestrian, and an object. For instance, somebody property. Even if you collided to a tree, it's an object, but it's not two vehicle accident, it's a one vehicle, and once damage or injuries are involved, it is considered as an accident, a traffic accident. And one of the parties involved flee the scene without stopping to render aid or providing their personal detail. This behavior is illegal and can result in serious consequences. As I said earlier, the most basic definition of a hit and run in a driver causing an accident, then leaving the scene of an accident, regardless of if there's a serious injury or only property damage. So once you any damage to any vehicle, any property, and you leave that scene, it's a hit and run accident. Hit and run accident can happen anywhere and anyhow. Distracted driver may run a red light or a stop sign, hit a parker or hit a street sign or mailboxes, especially sometimes they hit the lamp poles. And if you hit the lamp pole and you cause damage to the lamp pole, it's an accident. A driver who leaves the scene of an accident to avoid law enforcement and speaking with the police could be driving without a driver's license or insurance. So sometimes when people cause an accident and they leave the scene, these are some of the things that why they leave the scene. They don't want to be caught by the law enforcement.
Can I ask a question? In the case of hit and run accidents, what kind of detection approach you take to try and figure out who it might have been? Because I mean, it would follow logically usually that there would have been some damage to the vehicle. It follows logically that there might be at least one camera along some of the possible routes they might take to leave the scene, how do you guys approach it? What do you guys do?
There's different. There's different
Because-
areas or different things you can do.
Okay, like in the case of that one recently, it seemed as though it was very early in the morning, so presumably there weren't that many people around. So I
won't
imagine.
speak on that right now.
No, I'm just saying that because yeah. But have you guys received any leads on that yet? No leads on that. No, I'm not asking for the
prefer
leads.
not
I'm
to
just
say
like
anything.
yes or no. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, fine enough. Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
The matter is before the court, and
it's on investigation.
yes,
Okay.
and
Yes.
then would be before the court, and so you shouldn't want to
Okay.
prejudice. Yeah.
And sometimes if somebody leave the scene of an accident, and the only logical reason you can leave the scene if you're going to seek medical attention. So for instance, I got an accident with Azard, and I am injured. I'm going to the hospital. That's the only reason you can leave, or you should leave that scene to seek medical attention.
Without waiting for the
Yes, because
officers to
there is a
arrive.
life at risk. So,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
But what if you hit someone, the person is injured and you're injured? How does the law deal with that?
Well, both of y'all go to seek medical attention, then the other person, whoever, call and make a report.
No, but
Now
what I,
remember,
Whilst leaving that individual there on the ground?
no, but both of us gone to seek medical attention.
No, okay.
No,
so
I'm
One is
assuming-
more serious than one? I don't understand.
Okay, so I hit you down, but I leave you on the ground to go to the hospital direct to get medical attention for myself because I have injuries being the driver of the car. Is that legal? That's what we're trying
Yeah,
to.
but then you seek medical attention for the other person first.
But what
because-
if I don't know how to
but
pick
you
them up
can
and
drive-
stuff? But
No,
what-
but you call 911.
Okay.
And let them know.
Okay, fair enough. That
you
yeah,
call
that I would do.
911 and let
Okay.
them know and then-
All right.
Okay, so at least they could say, okay, yes, the person who was involved called for assistance for the other person.
Okay.
Then for you to leave the person, then you're going to seek medical attention for yourself.
Okay.
right. So I guess what
Yeah.
we're getting at is if in that case the person doesn't call 911 for the person who they hit and run, but they
in
go to get for
trouble.
themselves, it's a hit and run.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was trying
Because
to
one
get
might
at.
be
yeah.
more, because you knocked me down, I might be more serious than you because you can drive your vehicle. To
Yep.
go to the hospital, I mean, you're not so severe.
Okay. Understood.
Or even if you take me up and you took me to the hospital, you take me to the hospital, then
Okay.
We have a call. I don't know
Oftentimes,
if
the
you want
best
to
time
take
is
it.
to call
And
the
I want- because
emergency
you don't know.
because you
Yeah.
don't know
To move the
yeah, to
person.
move the individual.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Greetings, IT.
Greetings. How are you?
Greetings.
I am well, one to all are well. Listen, this is Tyrone. Is it fair to call it accident? You don't like the word you attach to the hit and run thing. Hit and run can be willful, you know.
Mm.
Accident? No, I don't like the word there. We have to consider removing the word accident from hit and run. Blessed long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you could be reckless in your driving.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be accident hit and run recklessly.
Yeah. So
Still
different.
encompass
Different classes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so there are
fair
different categories.
Yes.
There's driving without due care and attention, and then
Reckless driving
Yes.
or causing death by dangerous
Yeah.
or reckless driving.
so there are different classes. Because I remember at one point in time I had a matter before the court, and the magistrate had said to the prosecutor, you know, maybe it is that I think a little hint to say that they could have charged a greater category rather than just the careless
You
driving.
can drive it. Yeah.
Rather than just
You can attention.
yes, without due care and attention, careless. Maybe they might have
Be
could have
careful on
charged
the road.
for reckless.
And as I said, it is important to call the police and file a report to have documentation of the accident. Because failure to do so, you can be charged for failing to leave the scene of the accident, failing to report
Yes.
the accident at the nearest police station within 24 hours, leaving the scene of an accident, and you could be driving without due care and attention, or reckless driving, or causing death by dangerous driving.
And a lot of persons seem not to be aware that they ought, if you get in an accident, you ought to report it to the police. Whether it's minor or not, report it. Once you have the damage there, report it. The reason being is for your own safety too. Because if you're going to take action, let's say you get your vehicle damaged, you understand? And you're seeking compensation in the future, it's good to have that police report. that would collaborate what you were saying.
We have another call. Caller, Traffic Talk, you're on here.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I'm an officer here make mention about hitting trees is also an accident and it require of the police officer. That is something I did not aware of. But my main reason why I'm calling, I see there's an incident, there's a place in Bellevue. I think the road have been root up now is over at least 2 months. Right around the corner by Black Rocks. And the drivers now are actually going on the seaside, which is the side that everybody's running on. I think there's a potential for accident to happen right around it, some serious accident, because the part that route out, nobody want to drive in there. Everybody's going around the cone, and it's right around the corner. There's so many near times it look like something gonna happen.
But I actually was there. I drove there on Friday, and they had an arrow saying drive through the area, which we did. It was no problem because I think they had filled it in already. The only thing they hadn't done was pave it. So, and then there was a car coming at the same time, so it worked fine. I just drove over the dirt. I just kind of slowed down and then drove. You know, it worked out.
I'm saying you might have did that, but I'm telling you, I live over here,
Okay.
and majority of the drivers they don't drive in there.
Okay.
And this have been dig out more than 2 months.
Oh, wow.
From since about the end of February. This have been there, and everybody's asking why. Why Surrey Paving did that? They're going to other road and leave it round a corner. It's very dangerous, I'm telling you. I think the officer, if they have not looked at it, somebody go and need to look at it, because it's not good, especially for the main road.
Okay.
We have tourists here as well. Suppose they're on the right road and somebody just come around there like that. What would happen?
Boy.
We need to look at this thing very serious.
Okay.
All right then.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you,
for that
caller.
information. I'll get on to the relevant authorities and see what can be done.
But there was an arrow saying, the arrow like a black arrow, like come down like this, saying go across the dirt area.
But some persons don't want to drive there. That's the same.
Yeah, that's
Some
what he's
persons want
saying.
the smooth path.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So if you're involved in a hit and run accident and you're the party who is injured or you're on the scene, make sure you get the color of the vehicle, and if there's anything on it, because some people have graffiti or whatever on the vehicle, make sure you get all of that. If you cannot get the license plate, but if you can get the license plate number, that is. But sometimes persons change the license plate. Yes, people do all kind of things. Yes,
Yeah,
I
could
can see
imagine.
it. Yes, so if it have something on the
Ain't
vehicle,
you supposed to have one license plate?
yes, but remember, persons illegal.
Okay, fair enough.
So what happens if you put a fake, different
You
license?
can be charged.
Okay.
Once caught.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So make sure you get any particular of this vehicle. And even the driver, how the person look, you might say, okay, is somebody in the 20s, the 30s, you know, they have whatever. Make sure you get all these description of the individual and the vehicle. So when the police come or you come to make the report, you can give us all of these things. If there's nothing to go by, other maybe the cameras around.
Is there any grace given when let's say you have a hit and run, but then maybe a few days later the person relents and decides, you know, my conscience is killing me, let me go on. Is there any kind of legal grace given? Like, no? Okay.
None
Still
whatsoever.
considered a hit and run.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you leave the scene of the accident. Remember, you have 24 hours in which to report such. And if you leave the scene, that means you're hiding something.
Oh, so you're saying if I relent 22 hours after, it's not a hit and run? That's what you're
It's
saying?
still a hit and run.
Okay. Just
Because
checking.
you're supposed, as soon as you get in an accident, you're supposed to stay right where you collided with the other person.
And call the police. Okay.
You should not leave or move your vehicle.
Until dismissed by the officer.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So any accidents reported?
Even if it's a pole, wherever you
Yes,
run into
because
the
as
corner,
I said,
call the
once
police.
injuries or damages involved, it is classified as an accident. Yes, that's the law.
Okay. Anything else we need to?
There was an incident the other day. I don't know what became of it, but I heard that someone had hit a pole and they were electrocuted. Is that true?
Oh, that accident that we saw the picture where somebody ran into a pole. Yeah, can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah.
In Frigate
it looked
Bay.
like Frigate Bay.
It looked, when you're coming out there by Jamrock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about the person got electrocuted.
But the person was lying there on the ground or something. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were shocked.
That's what I'm just going to say. Maybe the person was shocked, so.
Yeah, because that's something maybe we could get
in shock. That's what I meant.
Skellig or somebody to come and speak about. Like if you hit a pole and the pole falls, do you stay inside of the vehicle? Do you come out of the vehicle? Because I won't want to hit the electric pole and the wires are on my car. That's a conduct of electricity right there.
Got to safety.
Sophie, if I'm being honest, I gotta say that the police force and a lot of government agencies really do not do a good job of letting the press know of all these things that happen. So many things happen that you always hear about through people you shouldn't be hearing them about.
And sometimes some are fall.
Yeah, that's why
well, yeah, that's a given. But I think my point is still valid.
I didn't hear anything about the electrocution of the person.
I remember there was some pictures being circulated, but
you see,
you guys can do a lot better with letting people know about. And I'm not blaming you personally, obviously, but we have a terrible culture in this country where there's this caginess about giving information. I just don't understand it. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, hello. I have these two questions to ask. What if you hit somebody, okay, but you decide to take them to the hospital because you feel that, hey, their life will probably save the quicker you get them to the hospital? That's number one. Would it be considered hit and run or whatever?
No, sir.
How would it be dealt with?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah. Secondly, let's say you hit a pole or something, but where you hit it, maybe especially as a woman or whatever, maybe where you hit it, you may feel that maybe your life might be in danger or anything like that, and you got to the nearest police station to talk about it, to tell them about it. Would that consider to be a hit and run as well?
No, sir. Once you get in an accident and you go to the station and make the report within 24 hours, it's not, because you leave and you're going to make the report. As you said, with the person you're knocked down, you take the person to the hospital, yes, for medical attention, and then you call the police and report the accident, or you go to the station and report it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I thought that was a good question. Because, I could see a situation where someone hits someone and they're like, maybe...
They take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
We have a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Person collided to pedestrian and they take them to the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. But some persons leave them there.
Disappear.
Okay. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So anything else you wanna we have another call coming. Traffic Talk, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Oh,
hey.
Good morning. Nice to hear you.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Welcome back, Azard. I thought you skipped the boat.
I'm here. How are you doing?
We thought you skipped the boat. We haven't heard from you.
I thought you let James run you.
Socrates was worried about you last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking
about
you.
Y'all phone, eh? Let me start your poor service. For 4 weeks, people with landline couldn't get in. So take the blame.
So then it's your service provider then.
Not my service provider. You saw my phone is working,
Okay, Miss Henry.
It's negligence on the part of WINNFM.
Okay.
Knowing that people couldn't get in and they did not hasten the repair.
Okay.
Or whatever. So please, apologize.
Okay, we humbly apologize on behalf of WINNFM for any inconvenience.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sergeant Henry.
Good morning, Miss Henry.
Now, somebody was putting a matter to me. This matter has to do with the repair of the St. Peter's Road.
Yes, sir.
And they are almost impossibility of getting to the upper Parry, the Parry development,
That's
using the
past.
road to get into St. Peter's.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they're giving routes of the tour that people don't know. Routes of the tour into sometimes worse roads. And the person was saying that they go in the morning and they did tour them somewhere else. And when they try to follow that, they end up where they don't know. They're trying to get to Cedar Grove, you know where Cedar Grove is, right?
Yes.
Right. And they have to even take the back road through from Lower Monkhill up to Upper Monkhill to the bush, you know what I mean, right?
So you go over the bridge area. That's
Yeah,
where
you come
about?
over,
Yes.
you come to the what used to be
Where Cedric Live
like the
at level?
mountainside.
Yes.
And only one road, only one vehicle in some places could pass. So they are saying that proper direction should be given with the detour. And sometimes what happens, they said, the heavy vehicles, when they use the road, they leave in, like ditch.
Yes.
So anybody in a lower vehicle have difficulty getting through. My friend said that he was stuck, actually stuck. His car wheel fell into one of these things with these heavy vehicles coming through. Because, the dirt is soft, creating trenches. So I was saying maybe in giving the matter of the detours, maybe they should try, if they're going to work on this side, work on this side. But in the morning, they one place, in the other place. And it's making it very, very difficult. They said the people are done by Stapleton, Great House, all kind of places that people who, some of them have never been. So I don't know who gave the directions for the detours, but they should be clearer, and they should be marked, and they should be lighted. So maybe you could discuss the matter with Public Works.
Yes.
Is Public Works doing it?
Yes.
Yeah, people are having difficulty getting in and out of St. Peter's. And they're fixing the road in piece of the road here, piece of the road here. Maybe if they could do a continuous thing, then people would have it easier. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't be doing part of the road over here, and then another part over there, and then people don't know how to get in or get out. So that's my concern. Now, in this hit and run bit, let me ask you straightforward. A grandchild of mine was involved in an accident. She was in a bus.
Yes.
On 4th Street. It's somewhere in the area of Domino's. And a car of one of the junction and ran into the bus. She said the car struck the bus in the area where she was sitting. So I asked the police came in and she said, well, why you didn't go to the hospital? I said, because they should have taken you, because she said her back was hurting her and her foot feel a kind of numbish, right, in the night. But in the morning it kind of clear up. So I am saying, if you have that kind of accident, shouldn't she or maybe the people from the bus be taken to the hospital? Do you know anything about that accident?
No, I don't. I can find out, but when accidents happen and the police officer gets on the scene, they usually ask anybody injured. That's the first thing they should ask, if they are injured persons. And if not, then they continue the investigation.
Because I asked her, police came, I don't even know if she remember she was so frightened.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, girl, if anything was happening to you, God, the thing might wear off now. The police should have some record, or the hospital should have some record that you came for investigation. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So
And
check
how
out
long
the
this
police.
accident happened?
I think it's about 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks.
It wasn't last week. It might have been the week before. I think it was a Friday evening.
Yeah. It was a passenger
What she
bus
say?
or
A
private?
bus and a car, she said.
It was a private vehicle, both private?
I'm not sure, you know, but I know the car was private.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said the car just came out and ran straight into the bus.
Back, yeah.
And in this side, she say,
Oh, so the
I
person
don't know if they were
came
coming up to the junction.
by Central
She
Street? No, but
Huh?
if it's by
On Fourth
Domino's,
Street. She
if
said
it's
somewhere
by
in the
Domino's,
area
then the
of,
person came out at park position.
Huh?
If it's by Domino's, as you said, I mean the person came out from a park position.
I don't know
Look
whether
like
ran
to the
right
side.
into the thing. So I said to her, maybe the person don't have no license or insurance. I didn't sound to me like the person stop. But I was concerned on her, you know,
Yes.
having indications and not being taken or sent to the hospital.
Yeah. Because something
So
you
you
don't
could
feel
find no
nothing.
problem. In the evening or night. But
Yeah.
I think she was so frightened she didn't remember the police came.
So, wow.
Right then.
We'll have to conclude. We have another.
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to check it out and check out the St. Peter's thing. It is too
Yes.
frustrating.
I will, Miss Mrs.
And some of the
Henry.
drivers are losing their way. When they go, they detour the car and find out to come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you, Miss Henry.
contribution. Mhm.
Nice hearing you again.
Yes. And there we had it for Traffic Talk.
Officer Henry, thank you so much for taking time out and filling us in on what is the necessaries. And I know we said we can pick people up, but I don't think we should pick somebody up when we hit them down because we don't know what injuries we have. Let us call 911, maybe stay, and then we leave the scene after the 911 get there, just to make sure.
Simple.
Well, if it's something simple, yeah. But if we knock them down, let's leave
Right,
them
like
there.
that, because
Let's
we don't
leave
know
them
what
there,
injuries,
please,
yeah.
because we're not the paramedics. We do not want to hurt anybody further. So let's just stay with them, be patient, and then we can drive ourselves to the hospital and be checked out, okay? Because if we are not in the condition that person is in, then, yeah, let's be empathetic, cautious, and as the song said, please be careful on the road. It's not a racetrack.
Yeah, let's be careful, everyone. So we have our next segment, and we'll be speaking to Heather Achel, who has been one of the persons highlighted for her short story, Commonwealth.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Hey, my friend, it's your boy USA. Here's your Hustlers Value Mart Idea Specials, running May 2nd to May 15th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag Specials. Ocean Spray 100% cranberry juices, $14.99. Essential Everyday Croutons, $6.79. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $7.99. Essential Everyday Fries, $15.79. Multi-meal bag cereals, $12.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $11.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Kellogg Pop-Tarts, $12.49. All El Paso Tortilla Shells, $11.99. Bounty Essential 6 big rolls, $39.79. Hammer liquid detergent, $14.99. Kentish liquid, $8.49. Colgate toothbrush, medium and soft, $4.99. Shop smart, shop value mart.
So we have Heather next, but while we wait, I just saw. Well, let me say in advance, happy birthday to Sophie, Superintendent Henry, who was here just now. Tomorrow she celebrates, and I want to say to her happy birthday when it comes. Yes. In addition to that, I saw some. I saw a stat, Julian Morton, Balang, who we know, yeah.
That has his business in the park.
Yes, and it was saying that, that he had been robbed last night at gunpoint.
And he has injuries.
Yeah, and he has injuries to his head, yeah, so, wow. That is crazy, wow.
And you see, when we were speaking about the amnesty, we had people saying, Gregory in particular saying that the state is not in position to disarm, but we weren't saying to disarm people, as we said, that own legal firearms, but at least the illegal ones, because they're just causing havoc and chaos.
Yeah, and then you can, yeah. So, yeah. So, and so you have a situation where, yeah, wow. So as we were saying before, I just look at my status, and then I saw that Julian Morton, popularly known as Balang, who operates food services at the park, robbed last night at gunpoint and sustained injuries. To him, we wish him the best.
Yeah, speedy recovery.
And again, there has been some. And the fact that he mentioned that, gunpoint means guns, and we was talking last week about the amnesty period and persons to bring in their guns, their illegal firearms. And as you were saying with the conversation with Gregory saying that, the state should not tell people what to do with their property in terms of the guns and everything like that. But we are saying that these things, when put in the wrong hands, cause damage, cause harm. And so the state has to do what it has to do, and the police has to do what it has to do
As
to ensure.
When we were talking this morning, before we continue along the vein of the topic, you had mentioned the opposition in Grenada, and I also saw that article calling for the present-day government to do something concerning the guns, because in Grenada too, they started a gun amnesty that's going to run until I think it's July. And people are using the guns to cause more havoc. You had right after the Honorable Prime Minister spoke about the gun amnesty in Grenada, like 2 days after, somebody got killed, 2 got shot, 1 died. And then thereafter, I think it was May 6th, somebody else was fatally wounded. And I'm like, to me, it looks like it's a slap in the minister's face, because they're trying their best to be nice people, nice individuals, and encourage you to surrender the guns. And then right after, you're just like, okay, we don't have time with this, we're just gonna go pop off somebody. And oh my gosh, we live in a rough world. But these times, I guess they are to come, but geesh.
Yeah, we encourage persons to put down the guns, turn in your illegal firearm, you know.
And if you must fight, settle it with your mouth.
Here he says, Grenada's opposition leader calls for action against rising gun crime. Leader of the opposition in Grenada and political leader of the new National Party, Dr. Keith Mitchell, is demanding that government deal swiftly with the issue of rising gun crime in Grenada. His call comes following reports of a fatal shooting in Grand Anse. Dr. Mitchell believes gun violence and homicides are escalating rapidly on the island. He says the streets, which used to be filled with joy and peace of Grenadians, are now scenes of grief and fear. Dr. Mitchell, who is a former prime minister, says that the NNP is deeply concerned about what it views as a serious increase in gun violence that is costing young lives. He is accusing the current leadership under the Prime Minister and the current Minister of National Security of failing to address the situation effectively. Dr. Mitchell says that the NNP is concerned that the current situation has the potential to negatively affect tourism and even the upcoming carnival period.
This, it's just, it's
It
crazy.
is very much.
Yeah, so it's May 1st to July 30th of this year that Grenada has their gun amnesty on. This was announced on April 22nd of this year. And then on April the 3rd, as I said, one man is dead, 2 injured after. So it's 2 injured, not 1 injured. So it's 2 injured after shooting incident. And then on the 6th again, man found dead with gunshot wound to head. So it's like the governments are trying, but it's up to us, the people, to work along to ensure that we have a peaceful society, because it's beneficial to all of us. Because then when we don't have tourism, then we'll have no work. Because our economies are now heavily dependent on tourism. So we have to do things that are going to benefit us. I know the tempers are flaring. I know there are many things that we can do. We can counsel, we can go calm down. We don't need to be killing each other. And most of the time it's the young men that are being shot down. I even saw in Bahamas, they actually went up to this young man's window. Azard, I think he's 15, and they shot and killed him. Because the murder toll in Bahamas, I think it's past 40 something now for this little time. And then they killed the next young man that was 18 earlier in the night. So it's like, it's just young men. Every island or country you look at in the world, it's the young men that are being taken out one by one by one by one.
And then I remember WINNFM's article you shared in the chat as well. Trinidad criminal gangs caught spying on police.
What spying on the police? The audacity and putting up cameras on poles that are not theirs. Like, these people are brave.
Yes.
Very
brave. There was an article on WINNFM that says, and it's by Annalisa Paul, Trinidad Guardian, says hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of electronic equipment, including CCTV cameras and wireless routers used by the criminal element to monitor law enforcement agents, have been discovered illegally mounted on utility poles in the North Central Division. Imagine the audacity.
And then they have, because you see they busted the headquarters, the supposed headquarters where they are monitoring the police, right?
Yes.
They have monitors and all kind of things. These people are getting smart.
That reminds me of like a Batman movie, like something you see out of the movie placed in Batman, or one of them things where you have the criminals have their own track on the police. So when the police comes, I mean, these
people are looking out. Batman's on his way.
Yeah, the police is here. Like,
or the police is coming.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Imagine these people are so genius at doing this. Imagine if they can see themselves as upstanding citizens of the countries that they live in and do these things for good. I said, how far can they get?
They could have joined the investigation committee on the police force.
Look at this. Yes. Because these are smart people. Because you have somebody that needs to look at the monitors, somebody that has to put up the cameras and ensure it works. So these people have it here. They probably computer whizzes as well. Why are we on the criminal side? Come over to the bright side.
Yeah, they could have been assisting the police in the police investigation. They could have
given you know what? Said police, we working with you, but then it's a gang, right? Give the police the intel that they have. Since they're so good at collecting intel. Yeah. But I said the audacity, these persons are smart. I wonder what time of the night, because these cameras have to be put up in the night.
And
or if they do it in the day, they're brave.
He says, the article goes on to say, acting immediately after it was brought to the attention, officers from the Tunapuna CID and the Northern Division Task Force West carried out a massive operation between 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. on April 10th at the Mont Grande, Tunapuna, and Basanta Trace, St. John's Road, St. Augustine, and recovered a total of 23 cameras. Guardian Media obtained a document which confirmed 13 cameras had been recovered throughout the Mont Grande, while 10 were recovered along St. John Road.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we have with us
Randon Carr.
Yes, and you know what he's representing. You know what I'm seeing. You know what I'm seeing on
something that I'm accustomed to seeing on the screen of my phone.
Yes, something that I'm sure all of us have utilized.
I've never ordered anything online. People might be surprised.
You have never?
Yeah, people might say I'm not a real woman. No, never.
Seriously?
Ever
You have never used this company?
I've never ordered anything online. Never. Ask Jesus, he'll tell you. Never.
Wow.
Never. But I know a lot of people that do. As I said, I see it on YouTube all the time. So good morning, Mr. Carr.
She's such a liar. But anyway.
No, ask anybody, they'll tell you.
So you never use this place that he's going to talk about?
Never. I've never ordered anything online. I'm telling you all the truth. I don't know the first thing about ordering online.
Hold on. Now I'll ask this question because my mom would say the same thing.
Okay.
You have not ordered anything online, but have you asked anyone to order something online?
Yes, my husband.
Okay. Okay.
So
yes.
I don't order.
That was a good question.
We know the loophole. I'm accustomed to that one.
Okay. But I've never picked up the phone.
We rest okay.
Yeah. But I've never ordered online.
Personally,
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that specific
that
keyword. Personally,
you have directed.
Yes.
Your orders to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to introduce myself, I'm Rondon Carr.
Yes.
Acting General Manager for A2I. I'm representing A2I and Amazon. And we're here to announce that we're opening a satellite office here in the Federation.
Yes.
To provide particular services from Amazon, which include Amazon Return Service.
Wow.
It's a particular service. So the return service is one. What other services would you be offering, Mr. Carr?
Predominantly in business. So you would have Amazon Business, so you would be able to get wholesale business-to-business products, as well as at some point we will be dealing with some liquidation, so you can get pallet sales and things like that. And then the other thing is to assist persons locally in terms of becoming Amazon sellers.
Okay.
So you're thinking about the possible expansion in the near future?
Well, those services are here now.
Okay.
They've been here for a month. Well, we've been active for a month. We're now doing the opening to the public on the 15th.
Okay. So persons, let's say I were to order something from Amazon. It came here. It's not damaged, but I just want to return it because it's not something that, I expected.
Pretty simple. You follow the same process as you would in the US if you're doing an Amazon return. You go to the return manager, you select drop off. Once you select drop off, you'll get a QR code or a label. You then bring those items to us. We'll go ahead and process the freight for you. Because again, with Amazon returns in the US, they only deal with Amazon ground. So there's a bit of an offset in terms of cost for freight, which you do, unfortunately you have to cover it. But it's about, if it's, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds, it's like 2, 3, 4 pounds, it's probably like $10, $13. It's not a large expense. But you bring it to us, that's it, and it gets returned. Within 7 days, you'll get a notification on your phone from Amazon that your package has been sent for processing and return. Once, if you're doing a exchange, the package will then come back the same way it came back the first time. So it'll go back to your US mailbox and come in. We'll provide you with the paperwork again to get that freight, the customs charges removed. If it is that it's just a straight return, you don't want it, it goes back, and then within a couple of days, you see the money return to your card.
So Amazon will actually be wading through all the customs, the customs crap.
Yeah.
That the other people have to.
Well, it's not way for customs crap. They're just more versed with dealing with it. So I would say it's a more convenient and more streamlined. And again, because we are what we call Amazon Freight Partner, we work with them. So again, we provide the legwork for them, but everything is handled through Amazon. So there is no, you have to talk to 2 free persons. Once we get the package, we send it back. You deal with Amazon, you get your refund. Easy.
But would it, what motivated Amazon to set up shop here in St. Kitts in that capacity?
Well, in regards to that, it wasn't actually Amazon. in certain fields that I worked before, I was in contact with a few of our CBI citizens.
Yes.
Now, one of the things in a former life I said is that as citizens, they also have to be able to engage and provide some form of resource to the community. As I said, you can't just take a passport for free, you got to do something.
Yes.
And a lot of them, surprisingly, do love the country and want to engage more and be part of the community.
So this is a benefit of citizenship by investment, other than just the monetary value that we receive.
Yes, because as I said, surprisingly speaking, with a lot of them, they were very much interested in providing support. And you know, we were speaking on a couple of things. One of them was, hey, in terms of shipping things, getting items, having that support. And then funny enough, one of them had a contact for Amazon, and they were like, well, it's a pretty simple process. They explained it to us. So we're like, okay, what all do we need to do? So in the space of a couple of months, we were able to get it sorted out and set up everything.
So you're actually going to have an Amazon storefront and everything?
Well, we're not a storefront. And the one thing
at least with a sign out front where
yeah, you'll see a thing
that's what I meant.
Yeah, you'll see the Amazon drop-off. We're located at Porzante building number 5. You'll see a lovely little sign that says Amazon drop-off. You go to it, you'll see our office right in there.
When you say building number 5, you know, many of us are not familiar with the buildings. So give us a landmark.
First Class Jewelry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you see.
Yeah, that's quick, so everybody can find that. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
So I think one of the reasons we focused on this one in terms of providing an Amazon is part of creating some kind of parity in terms of our persons locally with persons who are coming in, who are starting businesses, who are doing things. They have a level of resources that we don't have. Because, for example, if somebody is starting a business here, or even if they want to do something, they bring in an item, that item is damaged. They already have the customs charges on it, but if there's a problem for them to return it, that's not a possibility. So then they end up having to buy that thing again. And then again, with the point of warranty or customer support, there's absolutely none. So with this, we are trying to, again, create that parity that, hey, we're going to be on the same level as those persons who are coming in and opening businesses. So it's part of growing and developing our community and hoping to improve in terms of that convenience for the persons who want to do things here and who want to grow what they're doing here.
Okay, it's 9:21. If you're just joining us, it's Ron and Cara talking about some Amazon return services that we'll be getting here in SKN. And you know, this is actually pretty cool because there have been many times I've bought things and I just know it's logistically and money-wise, it's just too much trouble. So you just suck it up and you know. So this is actually a very cool thing.
Especially for clothing, I could imagine sometimes you want a particular size, you can't be there to try it on. It comes, you realize, but I should order something maybe a size down or a size up.
Or not even that. If you're talking about high-priced items or industrial items, or something like persons who buy an iPhone. You buy an iPhone, there's an issue with it, and you can't send it back because, again, they'll say, hey, if you have a problem, return it. You can't. So now they're able to do it, and again, the cost is minimal. So it's, again, getting your item returned or exchanged is pretty simple. Or even in the industrial arena where you're opening a business and you're like, hey, I want to get an ice cream machine. I want to get a freezer. I want to get a grill. You bring it down. There's some form of damage. You cannot return it. So this, again, allows you to facilitate getting your warranty or even getting it returned pretty quickly and conveniently.
Yeah, you said you pay to return it, but when it comes back, you don't have to pay charges to
because
get it.
if you're doing an exchange, then you get some second set of paperwork, which is, hey, I'm sending this is part of customs, I'm sending this item out, it's either going to be exchanged or repaired and brought back in. So you'll get that second set of paperwork. So when that item comes back in, because as I said, it does not come back to us, it comes back through the same route that you ordered for Amazon. So if it's your US mailbox, it'll come back there. So when it arrives, you got to walk with that paperwork and say, hey, I bought this already. This is just me. It had a problem. It's back now. Here's the thing. So you can go ahead.
Because the idea is that you will have already paid for all the charges before. You're just returning it.
And getting it back. Okay.
And I mean, it's convenient when you look at it, because sometimes as we travel, you know, we reach up there and then we want to order all kind of things through Amazon because we want to make sure we get the item
before we come back.
Yeah, before we come back, and making sure that you try on whatever you need, or you need to know how this thing is, because you're up there, you could easily return it. So now having this service here, you really have at your fingertips the opportunity to return at an ease.
There are, we'll have to say that there are some limitations to what we can and cannot return. Just a bit like we cannot return food. We cannot return for the ladies. We cannot return used items like makeup and things like that. Well, it depends. If you use it and there's a defect with it, we can return it.
When you said a defect.
Well, for example, I know like in the social, like if you got a lipstick and it has a hair on it or there was some kind of contamination, then we can send it back.
Okay,
or you have a dress and it's ripped and those sorts of things. But if it is that you used it for a bit, you're just like, I don't want it, we unfortunately can't do that.
Okay, fair enough. I hope the ladies heard that.
Okay, so 9:24. If you have any questions for Rondon Carr concerning Amazon, can we call it Amazon SKN?
Well, you can call it A2I.
A2I?
A2I.
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 And if you want to get more information, you can go to www.a2ireturns.com.
Okay.
Yes. Is there a telephone number for folks that want to get in contact with you?
767-9684, and it'll be active on the 15th.
Okay, so that would be A2 as in the number, right?
A number
A2I. Okay, A2I.com. Okay.
So, and that would be the business here that is operational that provides services for.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to get the legal terms. The same thing when we register subsidiaries here, the KFC is called on the paperwork something else.
Yeah, something else.
Yes. Well, for us, we're two because it's the same in the US as it's down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another part I would want to discuss, because again, this is about improving the quality of life for our people.
Yes.
Part of our manifesto is also community outreach. So even though we're trying to sort ourselves out and opening on the 15th, we also this month have a couple of community outreach donations that we're planning to do to provide to the community in the one that we exist in, which is number 1 and number 2.
You guys don't want to open up shop in number 4? You guys don't want to open up shop in number 4?
Well, I'm kind of partial because I'm from number 2, so I can't help you. I might do a number 7 because my family from number 7.
Oh,
but you could consider number 4.
Well, no, we're going. Well, it's actually by month. So each month we're doing a community because we thought that would be best fair. So this month we're in number 1. So we're going to do as much outreach and work that we can in number 1. And then we're going to move to number 2, number 3, number 4, and just keep that cycle.
So
that sounds,
community 4 will get its turn.
Yeah, because I was even telling before I came on here, we had a couple of persons who were trying to do like a little bit of media, and we were able to reach out to some contacts and be able to provide them with some equipment for them to go ahead and do their live streaming radio. So it's like Blackmagic cameras, Atom Minis, like a whole bunch of stuff that again we were able to get those resources to those persons because we saw that outreach. And again, part of this is again reaching out to these resources that we have that we don't really utilize, I think, to the best of our ability, is to then reach out to them and say, hey, this is what we need. How can you work with us to grow and develop our country?
Yeah, and you see the benefits of the citizenship by investment program, whereby this is a economic citizen who has decided to open up business here and provide services.
And again, I want to emphasize, a lot of them are even though we have a particular bias in terms of them, a lot of them surprisingly who live here, who actually live here, want to engage, want to be part of the community. But again, there was not necessarily, and I don't know if there is now, a mechanism to engage with them. But again, because of my previous work, I was able to talk to them and they were like, oh, sure, we can do this, we can help out with that. So I think giving them a fair chance and giving them an opportunity to say, hey, we welcome with open arms. You have our passport now. We want you to be part of the family. Don't be that weird family member in the corner at the cookout. Come down, be a part. Help out. We're willing to engage you and welcome you into the community.
Yes, wonderful. And so, guys, for persons who are now listening and joining in, we're here speaking with Rondon Carr, and there is going to be an outlet in Bastia, Port Zante, number 5 building. Landmark area is First Class Jewelry. We are
above First Class.
Yes, above First Class Jewelry. The same building that First Class Jewelry is hosting, but above the upper floor, right?
Hopefully today our sign will be there.
Okay.
And you said A2I.com, right?
A2ireturns.com.
A2ireturns.com. A2, the numeral, ireturns.com. Okay.
Yes, we're also on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Are you on X, formerly known as Twitter?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're working with the basics right now because we're still trying to get everything in order because it is a lot to kind of sort out.
Yeah. I was just being jovial with that one, man.
Yeah, we're not starting no fights with Elon Musk.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Ron, I'm give you the last 30 seconds to give you the last word. We have a
Yes.
segment coming up next with Heather Achel.
Yes, Heather Achel.
Prize-winning short story writer and poet.
And her short story was entitled "Marriage Proposal." So I really want to know what this short story was about.
I know, right?
Yes.
Well, I would just like I said to the public at large, we invite you to come to our opening on the 15th, 10 a.m. We have a blessing because, again, you can't do anything without faith. So faith in yourself, faith in God. We're going to go ahead and do a blessing, and then we open to the public. So we invite you to come down. If you want to learn more about us, we're going to be posting on our Facebook page, A2I Returns, as well as the details and process on how you can do a return. Go to www.a2ireturns.com.
Amazing. Great. So all persons, May 15th is the date, and Posante is the place.
And again, I know we petition, so we're going to get some food for you too.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Yeah, so best of luck
Yes.
in the endeavors of your business, and I know it's going to be used because we have a lot of orders, except me.
Stick and stay because we have another segment, excited segment on its way.
Marriage
Yes.
proposal.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. You want your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community, we are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Looking for something extra? Look no further. Suppligent's got you covered with our Suppligent Shop and Win promotion. You can be the lucky winner to take home one of 3 cash prizes. Just spend $12 or more on any Suppligent Tetra products at your favorite supermarket, write your name and contact at the back of your bill, and place it in the specially marked entry form box for a chance to win big. Promotion runs April 1st to May 30th, 2024. Suppligent boosts you up.
And we are here with
I'm
prize-winning
so alien to these
novelist
things.
and
Okay.
poet Heather Achel, daughter of Washington Achel. Good morning, Heather, and congratulations on you. And stop trying to look scared, because you're not scared.
No, I'm not. But this is new to me.
Yes.
What did you ask me? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
be here.
I would have run away from this, but I've learned to,
Yes.
accept the challenges.
Yes.
However much of a challenge this is, it's not really a
Yes.
challenge, but a new paradigm for me.
Yes, no problem. And we heard about your short story. We heard about your success in being shortlisted among one of the best, the 5 in the Caribbean. And so how has that experience been when you heard of the news?
So, of course, I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was happy, I was mortified because, of course, I didn't read the email when it came in. I was doing other things, trying to get back home. I was in New York at the time. So that was just, so first of all, I was like, please, because I was, it had been past the deadline and I should have submitted whatever. Anyway, after they said, oh, it's okay, we're happy that you got us.
Yes.
I wrote a letter saying how suddenly I was so overwhelmed with joy. I send out things maybe twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular prize, I have been looking at it for the last 5 years or so, before COVID.
Yeah.
And that tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
I had discovered it, I don't remember. Somebody may have sent it to me. And every year I said I would, and then the deadline goes, and then,
Mm-hmm.
And this time my little friend, I have a friend in Bermuda who's from St. Kitts also,
Yes.
who found out about it and was passionate and had been telling me since summer, it's coming up. And in the last month, she was like, did you send it in yet? I sent mine in.
Yes.
And so I sent it in with 2 days to go.
Yes.
Not because I think I was a little, really in the world.
Yes.
I have enough sending things just in New York or in, America. But it was just mind-boggling to me. So I sent it in more for the story.
Yes.
Out of respect of the story, right? That it was that I even thought I would be mentioned. So this in itself is a win for me, a big, validation.
Yes.
So when people say, oh, I heard you got that book prize, it's like, please, no, I didn't get the book prize, but I consider it a prize to be shortlisted among 5 people. And yesterday, after I'd done some reading, because I forget things, so I had to remember what things I thought might be relevant today. And I wrote to the other 5 because they tried to connect us in the zone.
Yes.
So we don't feel like we're arch enemies or anything.
Yes.
We're just people who got a story picked. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but I think we should be friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wrote, they encouraged us to email, and of course I did. And then everybody said something, and then I didn't hear from them in the last maybe 2 weeks or so. And I kept saying, you should initiate some contact. I was like, they're going to say I'm like, no, forward or pushy, which I've been accused of before, my other people.
Yes.
But that's okay. If it's me, it's me. And so yesterday after this, to calm myself, I wrote to them and I said, guys, I was just here over preparing for a little chat tomorrow on the radio. And I said, I'm amazed at how important this is to people. Not that it's not to me, but it's my thing, right?
Yes.
But I was amazed at the impact. People come over to me in the sea and say, I got to shake your hand. And,
Yes.
and sometimes they say, oh, congratulations. And for a minute, I have to say, oh, yes, it's that thing. So I'm just amazed at the response I've gotten in St. Kitts. I mean, I know a lot of people say hello
Wow,
and
people
stuff,
actually listen to us? Wow.
Well, I don't even know.
But also it was on Loop News.
Yeah,
as well.
They did ask us to give a press,
Yes.
hit and stuff. So I did. I think I did only said I said. Maybe I don't know if I did Win FM. I can't remember, but I did send things. I may have put in Win FM. So yeah, and they heard the announcement before I did because I don't get up early to listen to things. So that was. It's really something. I feel like I already won the prize, and not to diminish the prize. Now it comes with money, and a starving artist needs money.
Yes.
But I'm not really starving, of course. I'd like to travel.
Yes.
You know. It's I forgot my train of thought, but it's just I was saying it's more than the money and the prize. It's suddenly I feel like an ambassador sort of. Okay, that's a bit much, but over the top there. But I feel like I've done something for St. Kitts, which I've lived out 40 years or so. So I come home and
Indeed, because it's good news to know that we have someone from St. Kitts among the thousands who participated and had entries to be selected among the top.
It's amazing. I didn't even know how many people. 7,000.
Yes,
something.
Yes.
I was afraid to go back to look at the story, right? Because this is something I wrote. I went back and did an MFA some time ago, and this was one of the stories I wrote for. And most of my stories come from the lips of other people, not their stories, but their stories, but not their words. I frame it. It's not always the same as they tell me, because I go with the spirit on that, and so I use snippets from people's lives, and I always say my stories are fiction, but they're really based on people's lives.
Yes.
And I just wrote that story out of respect for this wonderful woman. And
marriage proposal.
Yes. Somebody wrote me and said, which one of the marriage proposals you turned down? I was like, no, it didn't have nothing to do with me, except that I wrote it, I penned it. But yes, so and that story for me, so I was saying I didn't go back to the story because I was afraid I would find terrible flaws in it, and I would stress over, and yesterday I did go back and look at the story and said, this is my story and other people's story. Our story.
Because everybody's going to share
it's everybody's story, yes.
So tell us, the marriage proposal, because when I saw the what is entitled marriage proposal, several things came to my mind. It could mean anything, you understand? Because one might not think of it as literal as a marriage proposal. It may be other things. So tell us.
Well, it is a literal marriage proposal.
Oh, so it's a literal marriage proposal.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. A woman is called, who has raised these children, has been called upon to give them up for this marriage, because what is better than a marriage, right? Than a marriage proposal, a man in this case, telling you that, you could have a better life with him, and what you want, these scraggly children who ain't even yours, it ain't even your family, it ain't even your grandchildren. They were just children from a friend's children that she was looking after in her waning years.
Yes.
And she has to make that call,
Whether to keep the kids or not. But I like what you just said, Miss Archibald. In this case, it's a man, because we know these proposals are coming from.
And it could be. It doesn't have to be a marriage, that kind of marriage, right? There are all kind of things that. And come in this form of people who think they could woo us away from what our true purpose is. So I never really thought of it that way, but yes,
So in the end, what was her decision?
Well, I would prefer to keep that a secret.
Okay. We still have to. We have more suspense
because I want people to read the story.
Okay.
And people have been asking me, "Are we gonna get it?" And I said yes, but as I said, I was afraid to go back and see some horrible thing that and say certainly these people made a mistake, because I tend to be.
Overly critical,
deflating sometimes.
You shouldn't.
So yesterday I went to the store and I said, even if there's some grammatical flaws in there or anything in there, I mean, I did do my best to edit and all that, but even if it is, it wasn't big enough to, go into the slush pile or wherever they put stories that don't make it. And one of the things, I had a very good mentor when I went to the States. She was the first course I took in college, and she was the first course was a creative writing course. And this was, I was 24 at the time, okay? So, this was a little while back. And she said to me, if you send out something and it doesn't win, it doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just that maybe that wasn't what they were looking for that day, right? Because it's just sometimes one judge at the end that makes a call. I mean, I've participated in those things before, and usually they have everything is read, and then it narrows down, and then one person at the top would make a call. So it might be just not what they're looking for. That type of story, that story set, and certainly living in the U.S., I sometimes feel that they're not looking for a Caribbean story unless they're looking for a Caribbean story, and not to diminish the judging and all that, because I think a good Caribbean story, Edwidge Danticat, does wonders in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it could be just that my story wasn't good enough, right? But I think a lot of times those places that I sent my stories in, mostly poems, because I'm more of a poet than a storyteller.
Let me ask you a question on Edwidge Danticat. Do you think that her success is related to that trope we see in let's say black cinema, where people say that the mainstream critics fetishize black trauma and black hardship and despair? And if you notice, a lot of the people who win, let's say, Oscars and Golden Globes and so on, you look at the parts they play, the black people. So I'm wondering if that can be transposed onto the writing, because I've read a few of her books. I think she wrote The Farming of Bones, right? Oh, God. And then Words, what's it? With something? Brett something memory.
Breath,
I have that one at home.
Eyes,
Memory, yeah, right. So,
and I've read all her books.
Yeah,
except there's one that I still have on my shelf to read, and that is those are
yeah.
essays.
So you think that has something to do with it?
I
mean, Haiti. You look at the Haitian,
I can't say that may not exist.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go in the minds of white people, but I mean, U.S. white people.
Yes.
That could be, but I have read her stories. I discovered her when she was 26 and I was 36. So that was something for me, because she was 10 years younger than me, and she had come out with Quick Crack, I think, the book of short stories. And when I read Quick Crack, I couldn't believe, and I saw her, this little girl.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that somebody could bring out that kind of, tell that old story of depravity and human loss. And the stories, they're stories that you read in the papers. So maybe in some way they like that, but I think the stories are powerful in themselves. I haven't been to Haiti. I don't know the suffering of Haiti. Haiti is like a big ball of sorrow in my heart, because it was the first set of people who said to hell with slavery, and to think, you sometimes wonder, is there some kind of slave god that curses? I don't know. But and most of the stories, the details that I got outside of the newspaper has been through her telling of the stories. And there are stories that need to be told. We want happy stories. We want stories that end well. And yes, that was a nice escape from reality. Hey, guess what? We can't do that. Writers can't do that. Yes, you have to look at the positive. You have to create a world that, in your work, that you would like to see. But you have to be realistic, and you have to deal with today's pain. Because how are we going to change things if people don't know?
I guess
don't know.
Let me ask you, who is your favorite author?
Oh, jeez. Oh, I should have expected that question.
Well, actually, that was my question, but I was going to ask you, just name some people.
For modern day people, not the old dead people. The Edwidge Danticat rises among them.
Yes.
I mean, at the top, I would say, as a Caribbean woman, a strong woman, I delight in her. I wanted to get her here for Carrie Fester. Not Carrie Fester. It was a Carrie Fester? Yes, we had Carrie Fester here in 2000. You all look like you were born then.
Yes, we were there.
Well, I said I've lived about 40 years, but that's not really true. I came back for 5 years in 96 and stayed through Carrie Fester, and so wanted to get her. She got married that year. I'll never forget that. Because I actually wrote to her. I didn't go to any officials here or anything. I figured if I could get her to come here on the slide, we could work it out. And she wrote back, because I'd met her so many times on her readings. So yes, she would be my favorite. I said dead people, but there's an American writer, Zora Neale Hurston, whose short stories I love. She wrote The Eyes Were Watching God, if you've heard of that. Somebody
Yeah.
did. Oprah did a very bad movie on that, you know, it's just a series or
Yes.
TV something. And the bulk of the story was just taken out of
Yes.
the main story. So it just become this
Watered down version of it.
Anyway, so but Zora Neale Hurston, I think, is a real storyteller, and what I like about her is that she uses the vernacular of the Florida, the southern, you know, and she tells the story of Black people as they were in her growing up days, and it seems so much like us. You know, we like to think that we are here and they're there, and you know, but we are really people with a common history, of course. You know, and maybe the boat stop here, and some people come off, and then it went, you know, and some others come off. There's some cousins and brothers and sisters and fathers, and we established this amazing our own differences based on, you know, where we are and all that. But she's a wonderful storyteller. That's what I wanted to say. So she's my second, I would say. Somebody gonna be vexed with me because I don't mention them, but I can't remember right now.
Anyone else?
I read a lot of different stories.
You know, as you talk about these stories that you have read and the authors that you have, you know, been inspired by, I think about, you know, high school, and we had our books for literature and everything like that. Have you ever came across the Glass Menagerie?
Oh yes, I did that in college. I don't want to read that again. I read a lot of things that were good for the foundation, and that's why I say don't throw them away. Don't say that's white people thing or that's in England and all that. A lot of the stories that are told in stories in England, and I remember I used to read Catherine Cookson and those people. A lot of times they wrote about lives, you know, people leaving the people, you know, this woman who wants so badly to go talk to this duke, you know, because they were in that time, right? And the duke comes, she gets invited because her husband is a civil service servant, and she dresses up and she goes, and then when that man came to her, reached just before her, he turns his back, and she was so disheartened, she bawled out, "Bugger the Duke," which was a big deal, and they despised her in the community and everything. I always loved that woman for being so bold. You know, it's like, you know, people feel, you know, diminished when important people whom they respect, ignore them or just, you know, blatantly ignore them because they're not as refined, they don't belong to a certain class. These are the stories all over the world, you know. You see them in stories in Africa, you know, with people, Black people, you know, would, you know, judge, and I'm sure it never happens here in St. Kitts, but maybe we could find a story of that, of somebody saying how they were minimized because they were not such and such, or praised because they were such and such.
That reminds me of a Steinbeck story we did for The Pearl. That we did for
The Pearl?
literature.
Yeah, well, we did The Pearl for literature as well. So probably been there well then.
Well, you know, I hope people still, I picked up a copy and, to put in my bookshelf because I think it's an important story. You know, it is that story of people living under the means that are necessary to live, and then having people exploit you because you get this one little thing,
exactly,
you know, and the thing that sorrow that comes
and the thing that you thought would have liberated you
is the very thing that enslaves you because of other horrible people. I mean, imagine that doctor comes and poisons the poor child.
Exactly.
So, coyote too.
And then you look at the fact that, and you know, there's an unknown danger. You don't know where the danger is coming from. Yes.
There's always an unknown danger.
I see you have a book there, Miss Achel.
Yeah, somebody asked me about my poetry, so this is my last book, and I always have to remind myself to walk around with it, and I don't do the marketing. This I published.
You can put it by the camera.
See, I don't even know where the camera is. So that is my, well, it was the second book. When I was here for Carry Fest, I did a book.
It says Home.
That is Home.
Yes.
And these are stories that were written in the U.S. See, this is the same picture that I gave. I don't take a lot of pictures. So these are stories that are mostly, most of them are written about growing up in St. Kitts.
Yes.
And I think people, I go to read my poems and people say I'm a storyteller.
Yes.
So I said, you know what, let me go write the fiction. Because I think a lot of times what inspires me to write the poems are stories.
So where can we find our purchased home?
Well, I'm right here. So
like that.
Newtown Bay Road down from Alfreda's, I sell my books.
Okay, awesome.
So I published this myself. I did all the work with friends, with you know, my friend Dolores Wilkes, who is my person of my friend for many years, and we share a home, and she's very good. She's good with all the details that I tend to wash over. So we got this book together and we got it printed. I don't do print on demand because they're exploitative. They charge you $2,000 for a book you write, and then you still got to buy the book from them. So I'm sorry if there are anybody listening. That's my take on it. So I got the book together. I paid for the cover. This is down on the Bay Road, right in front of my house.
Yeah, the Rum Office.
The Rum Office.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that.
You know, so I just felt that this is a book of Newtown. So I didn't send it to Amazon. I still can.
You know, we just had Amazon here.
Oh,
right before you. Oh, speaking of which, okay, we're gonna have Heather. We have like 1 minute left because we have Money Matters coming up next.
No
But
problem.
I just want to let people know that the 5 regional winners will be announced on the overall winner on June 26th, May 29, and then they're gonna announce the winner on June 26th. And the shortlisted stories will be published in ADA. That's an online literary magazine that the Commonwealth Foundation runs.
Okay.
And let's pray it into existence. Heather is getting that $5,000.
Yes.
Yep.
We are rooting for you, Heather.
Yep, the trophy's coming to St. Kitts.
My mind can't reach there yet.
Yes.
Right now, I am happy in the moment.
Yes.
And I said at some point I will do a reading, whether I get the money or not, because I consider that I've gotten the validation, and that's wonderful.
Yes.
Love the humbleness, Miss Archibald.
That's wonderful, and it has been
Thank
a
you for
pleasure.
having me.
You know,
Okay.
discussing stories and what your success here this morning. It is really amazing, and we do hope and wish you the very best. And of course, now persons are even more aware, and I am aware of your books, and so maybe make a purchase to get some of the stories so we can share stories of old.
By the way, Heather, how much is the book?
Yes.
I sell it in St. Kitts for 20 EC.
Okay, I'm gonna call. So you say,
affordable.
so Heather, you can find Heather Achel next to Fredo's there on the Bay Road.
Alfredo's, the White House.
The green and white house.
Yes.
Okay.
The White House with the green trim.
I'm gonna come for a copy
with
for
the
sure.
fish on the fence.
I also have a telephone number. It's 668-6704. You guys know it.
668-6704.
Or I can be reached at email at archibaldheather at yahoo.com.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
I'm on Facebook, but don't send me a message on Facebook because I don't get a lot of chance to.
To check on Facebook.
Just call me or text me. I'm on WhatsApp or regular.
Okay.
Thank you again.
No problem.
Good to
Our
meet
pleasure.
you.
Yes. All the best.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Great. Heather Achel. We have to leave you there. We have Money Matters coming up at 10 o'clock. And we're gonna be he's gonna be discussing the Republic Bank
That
issue.
should be an interesting talk.
Okay.
Yes.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby.